welcome to another Saddle Up with Sienna, and today is another jumping lesson, only today is on Anola. So I actually had no idea that Anola used to jump, but she did over 4 feet, so she is quite experienced. I thought she mostly was just a professional dressage horse, but no, she did professional dressage and professional jumping. So she has quite the record. So she does get a bit much outside, strong, she does it all really. She's just not very good outside and shows, but inside she's usually perfectly fine. In fact, I didn't feel like she was strong at all inside, but I've heard horror stories sometimes about how strong Anola can be, so yeah, I don't want to test that. But she is just an amazing mare, and as you'll notice from the past lessons I've been sitting on her, from just those little snapshots that you guys have been able to see, I'm actually holding my core and not flopping around like a fish. Like, this is amazing. So that was nice. I finally found my core on her, and maybe I just needed more stable jumping stirrups, because I've been riding her with really long stirrups because I just feel like that helps me to engage my legs more, but maybe what I really needed was more stability, and put my stirrups up a bit higher helped me out a little because I'm not flopping around as much. I don't know, it's like her canter feel the same, like it was still kind of painful, but yeah, she just, I don't know, I was just able to connect to her way better than usual. I mean, still nowhere near perfect, but it was a lot better than in the past, so I was really proud of her. So she is a Holsteiner mare. She has competed in dressage all the way up to like a 3rd level or so. She did professional dressage. She might have even been in the FEI. I'm not sure, but she did. I know that she's been there, done that type of horse. She is beautiful. One of my favorites. Well, she didn't used to until about this lesson because jumping her, she just feels like with Chip, he's kind of choppy and he's not, you know. But with her, you feel like a real show jumper. With Chip, it's just kind of like do 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 do, and it's like, you know, she just has more flow and finesse to her than Chip does. And so right here, we're just doing simple lead changes across the middle and just trying to get control of her because that's going to be needed in the future. I think that she's adjusted my seat so well though, because you'll notice that I used to have my leg really far out in front of me, and it's starting to come way more under me now that I've been riding her. And I think it just forces me to put my leg where it's supposed to be on these bouncier horses. So now we're going to be trotting into our first little cross rail. And she's like, well, this is a piece of cake. I mean, geez. And so she does a little trip over that pole. And then we go back to trot, pretty willing, but I'm surprised she even jumped it, to be honest. Whoop, still on the wrong lead. Still got that pole kind of weird. She's such a big horse, and she feels really big underneath me. Well, she's not that big. I mean, I've ridden bigger, but here's our first attempt at the bounce. And look at that, beautiful, perfect lead. It brought her back to trot easily. But when you get that bounce absolutely perfectly, it just feels, you feel like $1,000,000. It just feels absolutely amazing. She is built a little bit more downhill, which I find makes it a little less comfortable. But she's an amazing jumper, and I really enjoyed jumping her this day, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but look at that, she lands on the correct lead. Now that one was beautiful. It took me a couple tries to get the rhythm of the bounce, but eventually I got it. So now we're going to do the vertical as well. And this bounce, we landed on the wrong lead, and you can see it right after the first fence that it was going to happen. So, as you can see, when we do this canter transition, she gets really on her forehand, like right there, really bad on her forehand. And so eventually, I'm just like, come on, Anola, let's go. And so I pull her back up, and she sees that jump, and she's like, okay. Half stride to that pole, and then not too bad of a jump considering what that half stride looked like to that pole. Now we're going to do it again, wrong lead. Back to trot, but I think this was the best run from this little course, and so I bring her back to canter. Boom! I felt like my jumping position looked great that time, and we got a decent stride to that fence. Of course, the placement pole is there to help us because with the null it's a bit harder, and then I think this distance was absolutely fabulous. I was very proud of that distance. So now we're going to trot into this fence again, and I don't know, it just looks kind of weird. We landed on the wrong lead, and it felt weird too, to be honest. So now it is time to trot into this fence again. And yes, right lead. Although I should have kept cantering. Don't know why I brought her back to trot. She's feeling particularly lazy this day because it was extra hot. Sees that fence, really weird stride to it. Didn't get the lead change. I don't know. I got the lead change over the bounce, but I can't get it over the diagonal fence, which should be easier. because it's on a diagonal, but oh well. And then this fence, again, beautiful distance. That was probably even better than the first attempt at it, and she was so good, so I gave her a pat. Great way to end our lesson. So this was a very good lesson for me, especially because I got to see what it's like to ride a bigger horse and jump it. Because, you know, I've been on Chip for a while, and I never got to jump little Magoo, so he can't jump because he has arthritis in his back crocks. And so it was quite interesting to jump a bigger horse, and I haven't jumped anything that was more than a pony for a while, since like March. So it's been a while. And on her, she just has such finesse, and she's got such experience. It just feels really nice, especially for someone as inexperienced as me. So I really enjoyed it. But if you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe, because there are a lot of exciting things happening in the upcoming months. And I got a couple things in the works, a couple exciting announcements to be made that I'm very excited to share with you. So if you guys want to hear about that, make sure you like and subscribe for crazy horse content for horse crazy kids.